Urgent. Bears on high alert. The path for draft bombs is open and hold on Chicago. This is not a drill. While the AFC is bleeding out with suicidal strategies, Poles has an active sting operation that could steal the future from the NFL. Or destroy everything. First clue, a rival GM just dropped the key to unleash the beast our offense needs. But there are hidden traps. Do you trust Poles to negotiate with the devil? Second act. Hollis Hall smells like a cover-up. Only for defensive. Visits. Where are the bodies? Someone is hiding an ace up their sleeve that would make GB tremble. And the final bomb, that talent. From number 10 that everyone loves. Could be a virus that kills Caleb before the Pro Bowl. Are we heading to hell or the Lombardi? Subscribe. Or stay crying like Rodgers in the fourth quarter. Bear down. The bomb has just exploded in the NFL. The Raiders general manager, John Spytek, dropped some statements that could completely change the draft landscape for our Chicago Bears. And I tell you this, we are facing a unique opportunity that could radically transform our offense. Spytek just revealed his team-building philosophy, and his words are music to our ears. I have a deep belief in the physicality and violence required to play football, and it starts with the big guys up front. Do you realize what this means? The Raiders have the 6th overall pick right in front of us, and they are practically shouting that they are going to look for an offensive line. Why is this so important? Because Ashton Genie, possibly the most special running back in this draft, could fall right into our lap or become a reachable target through a trade. The Raiders' offensive line was ranked 26th last year according to Pro Football Focus, and their only addition was Alex Kappa, a guard who was among the 10 worst in the league. Do you really think they can ignore that need? I think not. Meanwhile, Ryan Poles has been meticulously building our offensive line. We got Joe Thuney and Jonah Jackson before free agency started, and then signed Drew Dalman, the best-rated center available. I ask you, isn't this the perfect scenario to bring in an elite running back? The infrastructure is ready. ESPN, Mina, Kimes, and NFL.com analyst Daniel Jeremiah agree. The Bears are better positioned to capitalize on Genie's talent. The pieces fit perfectly. Could Poles orchestrate a trade with the Raiders? Imagine giving them our first-round pick plus an additional second or third-round pick. They get their offensive linemen and more capital to continue rebuilding, and we get a special running back who would perfectly complement Caleb Williams. But here's where it gets really interesting. While everyone's talking about our offensive focus, there's something quite revealing happening at Hollis, all with the pre-draft visits. NFL.com reported that the Bears brought in Ohio State defensive back Jordan Hancock on the last day of allowed visits. And let me tell you, this is significant because it marks just the 4th confirmed defensive visit. 4? Really? What's going on here? The other 3 reported defensive visits were with Tennessee defensive tackle Omar Norman-Lott, Texas A&M edge rusher Shemar Stewart, and Oklahoma State linebacker Nick Martin. They also spoke with cornerback Jahdae Barron and safety Andrew Mukuba from Texas. But those were campus conversations after the pro day. I ask you, doesn't this seem strange? The disparity between offensive and defensive visits is overwhelming. Are the Bears being deliberately secretive about their defensive interests, or are they really planning an offensive revolution in this draft? Now, let's analyze the facts. The Bears strengthened their defense in free agency with Grady Jarrett and Deo Odeyingbo, but they still seem to need another edge rusher. Or maybe they're thinking of something else. Norman-Lott would be an asset as an explosive pass rusher in the 3 technique position. But do we really need another defensive tackle when we already have Jarrett, Andrew Billings, Jonathan Ford, and Chris Williams? And consider this. Gervin Dexter already played 79 of his 432 snaps on the edge last year. Odeyingbo also moved inside on 64 of his 742 defensive snaps with the Colts. Are the Bears planning more versatile schemes? Or are they just hiding their true intentions? On the edge, The Bears only have Montez Sweat and Odeimbo with proven experience. Dominique Robinson, Daniel Hardy, and Austin Booker remain prospects. Logic would dictate that we need reinforcements. So why so few visits with edge rushers? I believe there's more than what's being reported, and this could be part of Pohl's misinformation strategy. But let's not forget another hot topic, Armand Membou from Missouri. This offensive line prospect has been consistently linked to the Bears with the 10th pick, especially with concerns about Braxton Jones at left tackle. However, a worrying projection has just emerged that could change everything. According to Brad Biggs of the Chicago Tribune, several NFL teams believe Membou will end up playing as a guard in the NFL instead of a left tackle. I ask you, is this what we need with the 10th pick? Biggs wrote, based on what I've heard, it's more likely that Membou ends up playing as a guard in the NFL than as a left tackle. My hunch is that if a team picks him in the first half of the first round, it would be with the idea of playing him first as a right tackle, unless that team is established in that position. This is crucial because the Bears need someone who can make an immediate difference at left tackle, not another guard when we've just invested in that position. Biggs continued, I can tell you that early in the college season, some NFL teams were viewing him as a guard for the next level. I think teams have a bit more open-mindedness now, but opinions on Membou vary. A national scout I spoke with last week said Membou is quite raw, and there's some boom or bust in selecting him high in the first round. He pointed out the potential and athleticism, but said he saw considerable inconsistency both in person and on tape that he evaluated. Membou's athleticism is undeniable. He ran 4.9 in the 40-yard dash and had a 10-yard split time of 1.74 at the combine. Lance Zierlein of NFL.com praised his body control while using his speed to his advantage. Membou plays with composed quickness and elite body control. He delivers a good impact on contact and has the range to drive runs with blocks in space. But at 6 feet 4 inches, he's a bit short for the tackle position, and it might take him time to fully adapt to the NFL level, especially if teams plan to use him as a left tackle. I believe selecting Membou is a bet on his athleticism and hoping your training program helps him maximize his strengths. Is this the bet the Bears are willing to make with the 10th pick? The situation with Braxton Jones complicates things further. He's expected to start training camp limited due to his ankle injury. Kieran Amagaji, selected in the 3rd round, is the only other option. It's clear that Chicago needs more help in that position. It's not that Jones has been terrible when he's been on the field. He earned a solid 77.4 grade from Pro Football Focus in 2024, ranking 20th out of 141 tackles. However, he was part of an offensive line that allowed 68 sacks, the most in the league in 2024. The new head coach will evaluate all aspects of his blocking scheme. The biggest warning sign about Jones has been his injuries. The aforementioned ankle injury limited him to just 12 games. That was after Jones appeared in only 11 games in 2023. Heading into 2025, Jones' goal, besides keeping quarterback Caleb Williams protected in the pocket, is simply to stay on the field. That will become much more difficult if the Bears bring in Membou or another star offensive lineman in the draft. If they choose offensive line at pick 10, Chicago will possibly take its biggest weakness and turn it into a real area of strength for the team. I ask you, is it worth using the 10th pick on a player who might end up in a different position than we desperately need? Or should we consider other options in that position? Let's analyze the full situation. The Bears have invested significantly in their offensive line during this offseason. They have the structure in place to support Caleb Williams, but left tackle remains a question mark. At the same time, they have the opportunity to secure a special runner like Genie if they can maneuver correctly in the draft. On defense, although they've strengthened the front line, they still seem to need another quality edge rusher. However, the pre-draft visits suggest a different focus, whether by strategic design or a genuine shift in philosophy. I believe Poles is playing chess while others are playing checkers. The limited number of defensive visits could be a smokescreen, or it could indicate a full commitment to building an offensive arsenal around Williams. Either way, we're at a critical moment for the franchise. Spytek's comments open up fascinating possibilities. If the Raiders are as committed to building lines as he suggests, the Bears could be in a position to capitalize, either by staying at pick 9 and hoping Ginty falls, or by being aggressive and moving up to securing Dot. As for Membou, the Bears must decide if his versatility is an advantage or a disadvantage. Do they prefer someone who can play multiple positions but isn't elite in any? Or will they seek a pure specialist at left tackle? The answer to this question could define Williams' protection for years. The countdown to the draft continues, and each day brings new clues about the Bears' intentions. One thing is certain, with the current roster construction, Chicago is in a position to make a significant leap in 2025. If they get these crucial draft decisions right, the coming weeks will determine whether the Bears capitalize on these opportunities or let them slip away. As fans, all we can do is trust that Poles and his team are seeing the bigger picture and making decisions that bring us closer to the ultimate goal, returning to FL prominence and competing for championships. What do you all think? Should the Bears go all out to get Ginty? Is Membou too risky at pick 10? Are you worried about the apparent lack of focus on defense during the pre-draft visits? These questions will define the future of our franchise. And I'll be here, following every development, analyzing every move, and keeping you informed about everything related to our Chicago Bears. If you've enjoyed this analysis and want to keep receiving exclusive information about the Bears, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Your support is what makes this content possible. What do you think about these news? Do you think the Bears should move up for Ginty, take a risk with Membou, or focus more on defense? Leave me your opinions in the comments. Remember, we're more than just a channel. We're a family united by our passion for the Bears. Every subscription, every like, and every comment strengthens our community. Share this video with other fans who need to stay up to date on these critical developments. See you in the next analysis, where we'll continue unraveling every move of our Chicago Bears. Bear down.